Hey friend, this is episode number 552 of the And So podcast with Taylor Bradford. Let's get to it. Boss Girl Creative presents And So with Taylor Bradford, business and life musings from a successful serial entrepreneur. Each week, you will hear Taylor spill the tea on all things business, life, relationships, health, and everything in between. But don't worry, each week also includes a business nugget that will help you stay on course. And now a throwback to 3-year-old Taylor who inspired all of this.
And so.
Hey, quick question. When was the last time you actually checked in with yourself? Not checked off your list, not checked your stats. I mean, stopped to scroll, paused the spiral, and asked, what's actually working here? That's why I created the Clarity Catch-Up, a free mini workbook that gives you a short, powerful reset when your brain feels like it's doing the most and is still stuck. Grab it at bossgirlcreative.com/workbook. No strategy, just a breath, a brain check, and a better next step. Again, that's bossgirlcreative.com/workbook. Hello, friend. Welcome to the very first episode of 2026. I am your host, Taylor Bradford. Thank you so much for being here. We are going to dive right in. So I finished the year with the 93 books. I just didn't have it in me. Doing this course has just been so eye-opening. And yeah, so I have recorded this course at minimum 3 times, and it has gone off the rails all 3 times. The first time I recorded with no sound because I forgot to turn the mic on. Yep, that was such a rookie move. And then the second time I didn't realize that my Canva slide presentation was stuck in a different screen. I could see the slides because I was in presenter mode, but I didn't realize there was something I had to click away for the audience, when it was screen recording for the audience to see. So that was a fail. The third time I realized that, I don't even remember. I think I realized later when I started editing that I had a slide error. I made another module when I realized there was a module missing once I got to filming, or actually once I got to editing. I was like, wow, okay, there's definitely a module missing. I had to build a whole new module for that because there couldn't be that particular module missing. It was kind of important. So I hadn't, in my maneuvering of the slide titles and the module titles, etc., I repeated a module title at the wrong time. So I re-recorded that specific module. I re-recorded the introduction 5 times. I decided I needed an actual outro, and so I recorded that, and I got to editing again, and I realized I'm showing more of my screen than I want, and where I placed my face bubble is not in a great location for me to edit it or to crop it. So I will be recording it again. This software is going to be the death of me, but we're going to get there. So I only managed 93 books last year, and that's totally fine. I have reset my reading goal for 75 books on the year, and I finished one. It is 107 Days. Kamala Harris wrote it, and I think I mentioned it in last week's episode, possibly, that I was reading it, and I thought I would finish it, but I didn't until 2026, but that's okay. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed hearing from her. She is the reader of her own book. And I really enjoyed hearing her day-to-day, the run up to the actual election day, and then kind of what's been going on after this particular election. And I have seen, so I'm reading this book, or I read this book for book club, Sharon McMahon's book club. And I have seen her say she thinks this could be a run for, like an early run for presidential election in the next season. I know we still have some time for that, but she thinks that that's what this is. So we shall see. I thought it was very well written. I thought it was very fascinating to hear kind of the ins and outs of what it actually means to be a presidential candidate, to like have so much on your plate and to try to run a full-on campaign in 107 days. Like that was crazy, like absolute crazy. But I enjoyed getting to hear more of who she is as a human being and just what that was kind of like for her. So that is the book I finished, and I would give that 5 stars. Or I did give it 5 stars. Duh, I've already finished. Okay, garden. The garden is waiting on me. The garden is in this time period where I will be starting seed soon. You know, in my area, I keep seeing people have already started seeds. I can understand if you're starting your peppers because peppers take forever to get to a mature enough level to be transplanted into the ground. But I'm seeing people start things that don't quite need to be started yet. But here we are, because our frost date in my area is March 26th, and usually you are starting 6 to 8 weeks from that date, depending on what you're putting into the ground. And I don't quite think we're there yet. Like we're several weeks out from even the 8-week part. But people are getting, I think it's the weather, truly. I think it's the weather. And then when we hit our super cold, I know our super cold is coming. When we hit it, people are going to be like, why did I do that? I think that's where we're going to be. Why did we do that? So I will be seed starting soon, and I will be refreshing the garden. My husband keeps asking me, when are we going to till the garden over? Well, I have to get a lot of metal out because I have a lot of stakes in the garden. I have to pull out all the irrigation. I need another solution for my irrigation. I am running drip tape, and the drip tape is fine. I had no issues really with the drip tape, but I cannot turn off channels. And I realized last night when I did some research through the company I bought all my drip tape through that I can channel my irrigation system. And I need that because right now if I go out and water, I am watering things that don't need to be watered. And I don't have a way to close them off. And I don't want to create a way because then I'm just ruining perfectly good irrigation. So yes, first world problem. So I'll be starting my seed soon. I did stake where my greenhouse is going, and that is really exciting. I think this coming weekend, my dirt guy will be creating the pad for it. And then my concrete guy will be forming it up. And yeah, that is on the horizon. And I'm really excited about that because I could do a lot of seed starting in there versus at the shop. So we'll see. But at least the garden or the greenhouse is now staked. And I talked about the course. The recording will be the death of me. I have started my Kajabi account. So that is where the course will be hosted. And you get a 14-day free trial. I kind of wish I was further along in not having so many mistakes, but I wanted to get things built as I was getting things edited. And yeah, that seems to not be the thing. But so my Kajabi account has started. I started loading things in. I need to build out my sales and checkout page like today. Today I have to do that because I have to have it turned in by the 8th for a review for a kind of boot camp thing that I'm doing, a sprint that I'm doing right now. And I want somebody to review it. And so I have to do that today. So I'm re-recording my course today, and I'm going to get my checkout page done, hopefully started today and finished tomorrow and emailed over so that I'm in line for that to be a thing. Our house, we are 99% finished on the framing, which is really exciting. I'm still stuck with the freaking fireplace stuff. I think it's been more of a shock of what things cost. And my husband and I, we kind of got heated yesterday, and I was like, listen, he was like, do you really want this thing? Do you really, those kind of manly things. And I'm like, yes, like, you don't get to have this thing if I don't get to have this thing. Like, you already have that thing. We already spent the money on that thing. We should spend the money on this thing. Like this I want. I've wanted this forever. We actually, in our very first home, like home, not the rental that we live in. The rental we live in is wood burning, and my TV sits in front of it. So we don't use this one, but the one at our house, when we had a house, the one at our house I used a lot, and I used some of our wedding money to buy the gas burning logs, and I used it a lot. So yes, I really want this. So next up is my electrician, plumber, and HVAC guy. They start next to get all of the final rough-in stuff done before we foam. We are going to be doing closed cell foam and open cell foam in our shop and house. So that will be right after those guys. Let us move into this week's Search Bar Confessions. Okay, fireplace inserts, because I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. And, I do have to say, I did post on Facebook in a builder group that I'm in, and I was like, just like explain fireplaces like I'm 5, because I don't understand, and there's so much conflicting information, and do I need a firebox? Do I need a fireplace insert? Do I need masonry? Like, I don't understand what I need and what I don't need. Like, what is standard? What are people doing these days versus what they used to do? Because now it's way expensive, and we have figured out how to do this more cost effectively. And I got some lovely gentlemen breaking things down like I was 5, like I asked for. But you know what was a shocker for me? Having women attack me for asking about fireplaces. Like I said, this is what I want. This is where it's going. It is going to be a double fireplace, but it's only sharing the same wall, so really it's not a double. It's 2 inserts, one that is gas log, one is wood burning with a gas starter. Like, I edited my post and I said, if you are a female and you cannot respond kindly without sass to another female, do not respond. And for those of you that have responded, I want you to put a mirror up to your face and repeat what you said to me in this thread. Shame on you. And no wonder why people post anonymously in these groups. Like, I was shocked at what some of those women were saying to me. I would never inspect this. I would never approve something like this. You should never be able to get this done. Like, I was like, whoa, sister. This speaks so much more about you than it does me. And if you can't kindly respond to me, like, goodbye. Hold up a mirror to your face and repeat that again. Like, what is wrong with people? If you don't have something nice to say, like, stop saying things. Oh my gosh. This is what is wrong with our society. Too many people are very bold behind their keyboards. Like, there have been moments where I have wanted to give kind advice, but like tough love. And I've even stopped myself because I don't know how it's going to be perceived, and I don't want to make anyone ever feel bad about asking a question. Oh my gosh, that is what's wrong with this world. Okay, moving on. Signs you may have an ulcer. I had to Google that for my husband. Foods to eat with a stomach ulcer. I had to also Google that. I saw somebody mention mac and cheese goodles, so I had to Google that. What the heck is a mac and cheese goodle? Go look it up. I don't know if you're going to add it to your day-to-day menu or your week-to-week menu, but you might. I also Googled, why would an Ethernet port be on the back of an audio receiver? Super confused by that, but I got my answer. How to grow carrots in a PVC pipe. What is a French top when it comes to stoves? And then finally, why did Goliath end? Such a good show, but it only ever was meant to have 4 seasons, so that's why it ended. Billy Bob Thornton is the lead in that. So freaking good. And that wraps up this week's Search Bar Confessions. Let's now move into this week's business nugget. So I have chosen my word of the year. My word of the year is growth. Growth in knowledge, growth in my garden, growth in money, growth in friendships, growth in experiences, growth in my businesses, growth in strength. I have to get back to working out again. Growth on my socials, growth in my community, and growth in life. And I started thinking about what would this word look like for me? And I really feel like I have a lot of room to grow in life, even at 44, coming in to 45 in 2026. And I found a quote that says, "A year from now, you will wish you had started today." And if that is not the truth, this time last year, I was doing a social media experiment. I feel like I'm always experimenting. I am experimenting with this course and what it's going to do because I'm focused on those 5 whys. And I think it is so incredibly true that we have a pathway, we have a goal walkway for ourselves, but I think where we fail is in the planning. So I'm doing a series right now on my Instagram. It's called Unsolicited Garden Thoughts. It is something to help me create consistent content leading up to this launch for my garden course, Stop Garden Pests Organically. And I'm really hoping I get some traction somewhere, whether that is on Instagram, whether that is on Facebook, whether that is on TikTok. I am trying to see with this lead up. So I am creating a wait list for my course because my course isn't yet ready yet. I kind of wish it was ready because I'd be using this as tee-up content, but technically it really is kind of tee-up content for the course launch. So again, I've added language in the caption to be like, hey, comment this word and I'll add you to the waitlist for this course. So I am doing unsolicited garden thoughts and I'm pulling a thought out of the jar every single day for 30 days and basically telling you my unsolicited thoughts about the garden. And again, I'm trying to have it be tee-up content. And my very first garden poll was this phrase: "This is why things fail early." And I recorded that. It is now published on my Instagram, my TikTok, my Facebook, etc. And I thought, wow, that is actually a really good lead up for a podcast episode because it is so true. When we fail to plan, our plans fall through. We are not good at getting to the finish line. And if that quote doesn't ring true, I'm going to repeat it again. A year from now, you'll wish you had started today. Our best laid plans cannot happen because we really suck at the follow through. So that is what I'm talking about today. I had other things that I really wanted to talk about that is related to goal setting and what is a priority? What do you hope to accomplish? What and how are you defining success nowadays? I wanted to lead into that, it's the start of the year, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I was like, you know what? Even with that information, if we don't have a solid plan of what exactly we're going to be doing, or have this guidepost we're going to place in the sand that I can see or that you can see off in the future, and you want to get there, if we don't have solid plans and actually follow the plans, this is why we fail early. So that is the topic we are going to flesh out as we move through this podcast episode. So let's talk about it. You put your heart into something. You spent hours tweaking your sales page or outlining your offer or mapping out your content, and then crickets. Or worse, when you launch it or you're halfway through, you're already wondering if it's even worth keeping alive, even worth continuing. Here's what I need to say out loud. Sometimes for myself, because, I'm literally mid-build in a course, but maybe for you too. Most things don't fail early because they were bad ideas. They fail because of timing, because of messaging, because of the capacity they were trying to run on, because of the back end nobody saw, but you were quietly drowning in. And I'm going to be honest, I've been there more times than I can recall. Let me give you a real example. I have lost count of how many things I've built and then let sit quietly in the background. Like you could go into my Google Drive and see all the things that I have done in the last 10 plus years doing this podcast. And they've just kind of sat there quietly. Not because they weren't good, not because I didn't believe in them, but because by the time I was ready to share them, I didn't have the energy to carry them through. There was one offer in particular, it was mapped out, titled, priced, even integrated into my system. Like, for real, I've had a course sitting there. It was more blogging related, so I think it's unrelated now. But anyways, I had it all built. But the more I looked at it, the more I realized I didn't have the capacity to talk about it the way it deserved. And it didn't fail because it was flawed. It failed because I was tired, quietly, burnout tired. And I didn't know how to launch something meaningful without launching myself into another spiral, without feeling like I was going to attract the trolls, honestly. So it sat, still smart, still aligned, but not alive. And I don't regret building it. I just wish I'd waited for a season where I could have supported it better, where I didn't have the fear of trolls. Honestly, that is why it took me so long to even write a book. Did you know I have a book? It's on Amazon. You can go get it. bossgirlcreative.com/pillars book. That's PILLARS book. Yeah, I wrote a book and it took me forever to even hit publish on it to the masses because I was scared of trolls. So this is what I want to unpack today. Why things fail early. Not from a place of shame, not with the drama of you didn't try hard enough, but from a place of real life business honesty. Because you're not broken for launching something that didn't land, but you might be building things in seasons that don't support growth and then blaming the product instead of naming that particular pressure. Let's walk through 4 of the most common reasons why things fail early and what they actually sound like when you're inside of them. Number 1, you launched it from urgency, not clarity. It started as this has to work idea, and you skipped the reflection. You skipped the pre-launch messaging. You just wanted it out there because you were tired of sitting on your hands, but urgency doesn't sell. Urgency actually clouds. Number 2, your audience wasn't ready. Not because they don't want it, but because you didn't spend enough time helping them understand it. You skipped the nurture. You assumed they'd get it with one Instagram post. And when they didn't bite, you spiraled. Number 3, you didn't have the back end to hold it. This one hurts because we don't want to admit that the system isn't there. That's the funnel's duct tape. That's the onboarding feels chaotic. But early failure often comes from the back end not being strong enough to sustain even a little traction. Number 4, you didn't believe in it enough to see it through. And that's okay. Sometimes we test things and realize this isn't mine to scale, but sometimes we give up too soon. Because we didn't get instant feedback, or because someone else launched something similar, and we talk ourselves out of it before it even has a chance. Here's the deeper truth. We expect things to hit fast, and oh boy, do we ever. We've been conditioned to believe that if something's meant for us, it'll take off quickly. That if an offer is solid, it should sell within hours. But that is not real business. That is a highlight reel of other people's marketing tactics. Most of the time, what looks like an overnight success has been through 5 quiet launches, 3 iterations, and a year of invisible labor. So if your thing didn't land right away, that is not failure. That's the first draft. That's data. That's a chance to come back with more clarity. So what do we do with this information? What do we do with the half-built offers, the quiet launches, the soft flops that we're too embarrassed to even look at in our Google Drives? We slow down. We name what actually happened. Was it timing, messaging, capacity, the back end, our belief? We give ourselves permission to pause, not pivot immediately, not delete the thing in rage. I've done that. Just pause. Because you can relaunch something, you can rework the messaging, you can rebuild the back end, but you have to be honest about what needs changing and what actually deserves another shot. So if you've got something that didn't work, something you half launched or never posted about or gave up on midstream, I just want to say it's not dead. It might just need a better season, a clearer message, a stronger back end, a softer launch, or a little more belief. You don't have to throw it away. You just have to revisit it with the truth and build from there. Because early failure doesn't mean you're not cut out for this. It might mean you're now learning how to build something that lasts. And that's worth trying again for. So if you're doing all the things but nothing feels like it's moving, this is your sign to pause. Not burn it all down, not start a new system, just pause. The Clarity Catch-Up is a free 15-minute reset designed to help you see what's working, name what's not, and make space for a real next step. It's a check-in I give myself every week, and I'm handing it to you. Get yours at bossgirlcreative.com/workbook. It's free, it's simple, and it's wildly grounding. Thank you so much for tuning in to this first episode of 2026. I hope you have a great rest of your week.
And flow. Let's go.
And like my 3-year-old self said, that is all for this week. Friendly reminder to rate and review my show wherever you are listening. And last but not least, I'd love to hear from you. Leave me an audio message at bossgirlcreative.com/speak. I would love to hear your takeaways, ideas for upcoming episode topics, and your feedback. Thank you again for listening to this week's episode. And until next time, I hope you have a great rest of this one.